Hello and welcome to Maths with Jacob. This lesson will focus on algebraic fractions part 2. This video follows on from the previous lesson where we saw how to add and subtract algebraic fractions. The examples in this video are slightly more challenging, but the principles we use to simplify each example are the same. Let's look at some examples. Simplify each of the following algebraic fractions. So here's the first one. Now the LCM of 2 and 3 is 6. That is, 6 is the smallest number that 2 and 3 will divide into. So we saw in the previous lesson that we multiply the numerator and denominator of each algebraic fraction by a number that will give a denominator of 6 for each fraction. So multiply the numerator and denominator of the first algebraic fraction by 3 and multiply the numerator and denominator of the second algebraic fraction by 2. So that's the first algebraic fraction. Multiply numerator and denominator by 3, because that's how you'll get 6. That gives us 3m plus 3 over 6. And for the second algebraic fraction, multiply the numerator and denominator by 2, because that's how you'll get 6, and that's 2m plus 10 over 6. Since the denominators are the same, add all the numerators, so we get 5m plus 13 over 6, and that's our answer. Here's our second example. The LCM is 20. That's the lowest number that 4 and 5 will divide into. So the way we get 20 here, we have to multiply top and bottom by 5. That gives us that fraction. The way we get 20 here, we multiply top and bottom by 4, and that gives us this fraction. Now we'll go to the next slide where I'll repeat this just for ease of reference. So that's exactly what we had on the last slide. Now because the denominators are exactly the same, all we do is add these numerators. Remember just to add the like terms together. So that gives us 32m minus 35 over 20, and that's the answer. Here's example 3, where the denominators are 6 and 8. The LCM is 24. That's the lowest number that 6 and 8 will divide into. So how do we get 24 here? Well, we multiply top and bottom by 4. So that gives us that part. How do we get 24 here? We multiply top and bottom by 3, and that gives us that part. Now you'll notice whenever you have a minus sign here, we need to put these in brackets, because that minus sign is going to apply to both of those terms. So the safest way to do it is to put those in brackets after you've done your multiplication for the numerator and denominator. So what we end up with is, there's your 12h plus 16, and then minus times 6h gives you minus 6h, and minus times plus 9 gives you minus 9. So there's our numerator. When we add the like terms together, we get 6h plus 7 all over 24. And here's our final example. The principles are exactly the same. The LCM is 40. How do we get 40 here? Multiply top and bottom by 8. That gives us that section. Since the LCM is 40, how do we get 40 here? Multiply top and bottom by 5, and that gives us that section. And remember, you put your grouping symbols in, because that's a negative sign or a minus sign. The 56y minus 40 is there. There's our minus sign. So minus times 10y gives us minus 10y, and minus times minus 15 gives us plus 15. We did these rules earlier about multiplying terms which have different signs in front of them. We did that in an earlier lesson. When we simplify the numerator, we get 46y minus 25, and our denominator is 40. So this video has given us 4 examples where we have practiced adding and subtracting algebraic fractions, which are a little bit more involved, but the principles are exactly the same as the earlier video, where the very important part is to find the lowest common multiple of the denominators that are given, and that's actually going to be your common denominator.